Hi, it's Brooklyn Abroad, and this is April's series of how to become financially free and travel the world. Today we're going to be talking about the power of side hustles and how it's made such a big impact on my ability to purchase my home and also travel the world. Every month I'm doing a new theme. January was all about setting goals, February was about tracking your spending, March was about manifesting success, and here we are in April talking about the power of side hustles. If you've ever had a side hustle, you know that it probably took a while to get. For me personally, I decided to pursue a side hustle in social media marketing and management. It took about a whole year. First step to building a side hustle, figuring out what you want to do is going to be key. There's tons of different options. I opted the route of social media management because I wanted the luxury to work whenever I want, work from home. I wanted to not clock in. I didn't want to really have like a paycheck to paycheck scenario where, if I'm going on vacation, now I have to ask for work off from 2 jobs. That just seemed too much to me. So social media marketing was like a no-brainer. And then the second thing is understanding that it takes time. I remember 2022, I first moved into my Astoria apartment where I used to live, and I was paying $1,150 in rent, and soon enough that was just eating through my paychecks. Basically every other paycheck was for myself because my one paycheck had to go towards rent. I had like $200 left from it, so I was like, no. 2022, I was trying to get business, I was trying to get things going. I downloaded Upwork, Fiverr, I would cold call restaurants, and nothing. I was really close to working with this one restaurant. It's called Slider in Astoria, and he just basically ghosted me, which was really rude and unprofessional, so I actually don't go there anymore. It's also such a ripoff. $4 for a tiny slider. Like, no. It's very frustrating because you're trying really hard. You're also putting yourself out there, and you're just like, why isn't this clicking? And then all of a sudden, my uncle's wife had reached out and said that she knew somebody that was looking for social media. So that was kind of my very first consistent job. I was sending invoices, I was making contracts, like it just felt really nice to have everything going. I had a call earlier in the year, I'd say about January, February, with the soccer club that my little sister and my older sister used to go to. My little sister plays there now, and I kind of just didn't hear back from them, which is fine. They said they had to get back to the board. When it rains, it pours. So once I had my consistent nutritionist as a client working with them, I think a month or 2 in, Auburndale said that they'd like to work with me. That was just music to my ears. With my day job, you're probably asking, how did I have time to do this? Working remote is such a luxury because instead of commuting for an hour, I'm creating content, I'm editing videos, and even that, I have my day job and I'm still doing this. When I commute to work, I'm editing videos on the train. Of course, you have weekends and late nights. There's been plenty of times where it's like I work 9 to 5 and then I work 5 to 9. With my vlog, I'm of course just pumping out content, and I'm also pumping out content for other businesses. My sister's an incredibly talented graphic designer, and that's her side hustle. She's an incredible artist, as I mentioned, so she created my branding. Once I started posting out on social media, someone reached out to me. I remember I was at work, I got a DM, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. She just wanted some help. So the first thing that I do is I just get on a call with them because I want to see where they're at. I want someone that's really motivated, that's like really in it to win it. So when they're interviewing me, in a sense, when we have these introduction calls, I'm also interviewing them to make sure that I feel like we're a good fit. So she wanted the whole picture. She wanted the branding and marketing strategy, and in addition to that, I offered her a social media calendar. That was a really great. Everything I earned in August went towards my rent. That was like the first month that I did not need to use my paycheck to pay my rent. That was just so liberating that that was possible. And then eventually the nutritionist didn't want to continue working. I feel like everyone has their own reasons, and financially that was a big one too. It's like a lot of money to put towards social media, and if you're not really ready to do that just yet, it can seem like a really big factor when it comes to profitability. I respected that, and I think she just has to go with what her instincts are. So I always try to keep everything open. Happy to be here as a support for you. You just have to not take things too personally. That was something that I had to learn from side hustles. At the end of the day, this is a business exchange. When it came to pricing, that's probably the biggest thing. I'm gonna be fully transparent here. With the first woman, the plant potting woman, she did not like the $340 I think I had proposed to her. And she was like, no, like I don't want to take away from your work. You know, you're doing a really great job. I just don't think I could commit to that spend. So I had to not take that personally. Of course, it's really hard. I was like, no, like if I charge less, but then if I charge less, it's like I needed to make sure it could supplement my full-time job. The nutritionist, I was charging her about 300, 400. I think it was like 340 as well. And that went really well. So that was like, I was like, okay, I have a client. And then when it came to Auburndale Soccer Club, I upped it because I realized my worth, and I was like, this is a situation where I have to put myself out there. I have to say, okay, this is what I'm charging. This is what I provide. I like to see where everyone's price points are. So it's like, what do you have the budget for? And let's try to work with you. So they've been paying me about $540 a month. And I think that makes a lot of sense because I'm creating a ton of content. I'm shooting sometimes, I'm editing, I'm doing all that stuff. So I think it's all worth it. With that said, side hustles are hard. I feel like I had to sacrifice a lot of a social life at some point because I couldn't hang out because I needed to get things done. When it came to buying my house, I had to save all my money, and I was worried that I wasn't going to have enough for the down payment and for closing costs, that come with it. Now, fast forward, I just have my consistent Auburndale Soccer Club, and I'm hoping to grow from there, just kind of reaching out. And I think that's always a really big part of having a side hustle, is to not be afraid to keep putting yourself out there. So that's my social media. That took forever to talk about, sorry. Next, with my travel blog, of course, I'm hoping to make this a profitable side hustle that ends up maybe turning into a full-time job. We will see. I'm building people's social media calendars, and I'm working on my own. I was working in TikTok, and I was just editing on these videos, and at the time they were just so cringy. But Hudson Valley Happenings saw the potential. They really liked some of my content. They reached out to me. They said, hey, we'd love to onboard you as a guru. You can create footage around the Hudson Valley and we'll pay you. We'll also send you on trips, so you can go to a hotel, you can go to an event, you get paid for just in exchange for a video, some photos, etc. I was like, what? That was like a music to my ears. I feel like that's also the power of side hustles, is that if you attract that energy, it's just gonna come and you're just gonna create and have so much abundance in your life. So they're pretty much the reason my content is like 180 switch, and my boyfriend's been telling me about like ways to improve my content. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm just doing what I can. And when Hudson Valley Happenings told me, I was like, oh, this is like, it's easier to take advice sometimes from an outside source, someone that doesn't love you and you're in a relationship with, because then you take it more personally. Building a side hustle, as I mentioned, is not easy. So I think the biggest thing is just, you have to get there. It's like when you find your first full-time job, you just have to get in the door. You just got to get there. You just have to get into the rhythm, the groove, and really understand what exactly do you want. Side hustles have been such a big part of my journey to content creation. I posted a video on my Aruba Airbnb experience, and they reached out to me. They're offering me a free stay in Aruba to go back and just film some videos. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? My next goal is, I've been reaching out to Airbnbs, to other places, and I'm like, hey, I'd love to make a video for you. Do you also need help with social media? When I was in Aruba, there was this bar called Liquid Chef. The guy Abraham is so nice. I 100% recommend checking out Liquid Chef. He is a mixologist, and he just puts so much love into each drink. Everything's calculated, and there's just so much time and effort that's put into it. Making this video, and I said, hey, if you're open to talking, I'd love to record you saying some things and I could put it on a video. And what happened was, I did this all for free. So I love that part about my side hustle, is that I always feel like I'm making an impact on local businesses. I made this video for them. I posted it after the trip. It performed so well. He had messaged me a little bit later like, hey, thank you so much. Like, the video that you made really blew up and I'm getting a lot of business and things are really looking up. And I said, hey, I'm so happy for you. I mentioned before that, you know, I do social media on the side if that's something he's interested in. And he's like, actually, yeah, it's just me. That's a way to kind of ease into it. Another thing really quick, I went to this elk ravine farm and he loved the video so much. The video made such a big impact on their business for the winter season, which typically is a lull period. And he invited me back to come in May. So it's really cool to have that impact on the community, and just wanted to spread and share my tips, my stories. If you guys have any questions about this, I am 1000% transparent. I'm going to tell you everything. If you don't have a side hustle, this is your sign to start a side hustle today. Get it going. Stay tuned for next month's video on how to become financially free, travel the world, buy your home, get that car, get that degree, everything that you need to have a fulfilling life. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. But if not, I'll see you in May. Bye.